Mom. What are you doing today?
Providence Place, owned by the Sisters of Providence, an ideal rental setting for retirees to continue their active, independent lifestyles. We have bright 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, a magnificent chapel with daily mass, restaurant-style dining, and wellness and entertainment programs. Call for a tour, 413-534-9700.
Mom, call me when you're not so busy.
Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel. Springfield Bishop William Byrne is spending his weekends getting to know parishioners in the diocese. Steve Kiltonic with the story of the craftsmanship going into these confessionals at Thomas Aquinas College. And a welcome gift coming to Catholic Charities. These stories are coming your way next on Reel to Reel. Hello and welcome to Reel to Reel. This past Thursday marked the 1-month anniversary of our new Bishop William Byrne's installation, and true to his word, he and his very popular sidekick Zelly have already started crisscrossing the diocese, visiting parishes and priests, celebrating Sunday Masses with the faithful. Last weekend, Nick Morganelli and a Reel to Reel camera crew were in tow as the bishop visited 4 parishes in just over 24 hours.
He's just so joyful. I just wanted to see him in person.
See the joy and wanted to experience it close up. So,
yes.
And it's there.
Yeah.
The McDonald's, parishioners for 3 decades, were also encouraged by the bishop's homily.
We need his message like he gave today. So, it's just so exuberant. It's just wonderful.
Yes.
The most important thing is, I think when he walks into this building, he made everybody here feel comfortable.
Good to see you. That is a fabulous dress.
Sarah Weichelbaumer, the new Faith Formation Director, and her daughter Caitlin are looking forward to this new bishop working to energize Catholic youth.
He brings a wonderful energy to the church, and I think we're going to see wonderful things with the youth in the Catholic Diocese for Springfield because, as you witnessed today, just the exuberance and the energy and the focus on family and the call to the priesthood, that was just wonderful.
Well, not only did many parishioners get to meet Bishop Byrne, but they met his black lab, Zelly, and she goes everywhere with him.
Yeah, of course. She's a love. It's great to be here. Come say hello to Zelly.
Well behaved, she stayed awake during his homilies and eagerly sought to make new friends after Masses.
She's named after a French saint named Zélie Martin, but we're a team and we go together to go, and she's my evangelization dog.
She donned her newest title on this bandana, one of the gifts presented by Pastor Michael Lillipop and Deacon Leo Coughlin.
She is now taken to calling herself the First Lady of Western Massachusetts. I've asked my staff to pack my schedule and just get me out of this building.
2 Sunday morning services were on the calendar. Both were in Ware, at All Saints and St. Mary's parishes.
The whole goal of this is just to come and fall in love with the people of Western Massachusetts and its amazing priests.
I love being a priest. If you know somebody in your friend group, in your family, say, hey, you should consider it. And then let the Lord do the rest.
I'm not called to be the shepherd of an office. I'm called there to be a shepherd of the people. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm hitting the road and I'm getting out to see as many people as I can. Since I haven't been a bishop that long, I'm coming to figure out that this is a perfect job for an extrovert. So it really doesn't take that much skill for me to go out and to meet people and to greet them and to laugh at their stories because that's what comes natural to me.
Wow. So you got my homily. The whole commissioning thing. Yeah, hey, I know that one. I know that.
Are so thankful that the new bishop can come to be with us to do this confirmation for us.
A really happy holy day, and hopefully other holy days can be coming soon. but this is a very special day for me and hopefully everyone.
The fourth and final visit for the weekend included ministering the sacrament of confirmation to Brian and 12 other youth from various Northampton parishes. The bishop spoke to the confirmandi in his homily.
I'm going to make you and you and you. He knew our names before we were born. He called us into being in our mother's wombs. And this day, he is going to empower each one of you to go out and to be his representative, his ambassador. Now, this is how I finish every homily, so hopefully within 10 years everyone will get it. I say, praise be Jesus Christ, and you all say, nice and hearty, now and forever. Praise be Jesus Christ. Now and forever. Excellent.
That's the focus of my ministry, is to bring faith, hope, and love, and to people that need to hear it. And that's the message of the gospel. The message of the gospel is joy, and that God so loved us that he sent his only son, and he sent me to help bring people closer to that son. And that's what I want to do. From sunrise to sunset, I want to get as much Jesus out of a day by bringing him to others.
May Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Getting to know Bishop Byrne, and especially Zelly, up close and personal. For Real to Real, I'm Nick Morganelli.
Come here. No, Sally, you're facing the wrong.
And of course, we will keep you posted on all of the latest with the bishop on iobserve.org. You can also follow him on Twitter at Bishop Bill Byrne or Instagram at Bishop WD Byrne. Turning now to some great news from Catholic Charities of the Diocese of Springfield, as they've received an offer from a generous local parishioner who's donated $20,000 with the provision and the invitation that it be matched by other donors. Joining me now is Catherine Buckley Bronner, Executive Director of the Office of Catholic Charities, to tell us more about this donation. Welcome, Catherine.
Well, thank you, Sharon.
Now, first of all, this has to be a very welcome donation for you during this pandemic.
Yes, Sharon, it definitely is. We are very pleased that our work has inspired this kind of donation.
Now, how did this donation come about?
Well, I believe that a lot of it had to do with the fact that we did some programming here on Real to Real about the work the Catholic Charities was doing over the fall in sheltering and then rapid rehousing of our homeless. The parishioner had seen the work that we were doing. She really appreciated it and was inspired to make this very generous donation.
That's wonderful. What can people do who would like to contribute to this match?
Well, because this is a match, and it is a generous match of $20,000, the donor had hoped that with that, others would also be encouraged and invited to give to Catholic Charities for the work that it's doing to house the homeless, and know that for every dollar that they give, there's another dollar that goes with it. So their generous donation actually works twice.
What services does Catholic Charities provide that folks who might make this match can see being implemented?
So we have been involved with sheltering those who are homeless. We have served as the overflow shelter, if you will, for many of the chronically homeless. And then from that sheltering, what we are doing is we are trying to actually provide a way for them to get into permanent housing. And that's our really big work, is actually finding ways for people to be permanently housed so that we can decrease the homeless population. We also have been providing what we call rental assistance for those who are facing eviction. And that's another growing problem with COVID-19 and the loss of jobs.
And is there a deadline for people to participate in this match?
Yes, there is. We have earmarked March 31 as our deadline to raise that matching funds for our work. So March 31 is sort of our goal. We are on our way to it, and we hope that others throughout the diocese will help us reach that goal.
All right, well, thank you so much, Catherine Buckley Bronner, and best of luck to you. And if you would like to contribute to this matching donation, we have posted a link to the secure donation site. Just head over to iobserve.org. And still to come on Reel to Reel, the Dominican Sisters of Hawthorne continue the mission of their foundress, ushering the dying into heaven. And Steve Kiltonic with the story of major renovations in the Thomas Aquinas College Chapel. These stories are all still ahead on Reel to Reel.
The Chalice of Salvation, your weekly spiritual connection. I'm Passionist Brother Terrence Scanlon, your Chalice host, inviting you to take time out of your busy day and join us Sunday morning. We welcome Father Paul Norman as our Mass presider and celebrate the second Sunday in Ordinary Time. The Chalice of Salvation, your spiritual connection, Sunday mornings at 10 on 22 News, WWLP, and coming up next on Fox 23, WXXA.
Whenever we see violence in the news, it's an assault against the dignity of the human person. But we can't be surprised if we don't protect human life at every single stage. This Friday, the 22nd at 10:30, we're having our annual Mass for the respect of the life of the unborn. We have to stand up together and rally to be with one another, to encourage our legislators to do what they need to do to protect human life at every single stage. So please join me. And this is how we stop violence in our world.
The Gray House is a small social service agency located in the north end of Springfield. The mission of the Gray House is to help our neighbors with their immediate and transitional needs. And the way we accomplish this is through our three primary programs. The first is the Market at Gray House, which is our emergency food assistance program. Since the start of the pandemic, the market has served over 20,000 duplicate individuals, which is more than we've served in all of 2019. The second program is our adult education program, which helps migrants and refugees with their English proficiency skills. The third program is our Kids Club program, which provides after-school and summer programming for low-income children. Our after-school program incorporates homework help, as well as educational enrichment opportunities. We try to bring in a variety of community mentors to meet the children and to talk to them about career paths and other exciting opportunities in the area. Our summer program also focuses on literacy support so that we can prevent summer slide from these children. Some other programs that we have are our Thanksgiving distribution program. So we give out turkeys to hundreds of families each November. And we also have a Christmas program for our children in the community where we provide presents. Santa comes to the Gray House and we have a wonderful time celebrating the season. We do give out coats to individuals in need. As you can imagine, the cold weather comes and we really want to make sure that all of our clients have the appropriate outdoor clothing so that they can stay safe.
Mom. What are you doing today?
Providence Place, owned by the Sisters of Providence, an ideal rental setting for retirees to continue their active, independent lifestyles. We have bright 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, a magnificent chapel with daily mass, restaurant-style dining, and wellness and entertainment programs. Call for a tour, 413-534-9700.
Mom, call me when you're not so busy.
At the turn of the 20th century, Rose Hawthorne, daughter of Nathaniel Hawthorne, was searching for a work of charity, deciding on providing care for the sickest of the sick, those dying from cancer. And caring for the terminally ill has been the mission of the Dominican Sisters of Hawthorne, the order founded by Rose for more than 100 years now. We learn more in this CNS report.
God calls us here. God invites us and we respond. He's the one that wants us here, and He's the one that gives us the grace to do what we have to do every day.
It began in the turn of the century. Our foundress, Rose Hawthorne, who's the daughter of Nathaniel Hawthorne, was looking for a work of charity. She wanted to care for the most destitute class there was, and I think she decided that that was, at that time, people who were dying of cancer because they thought it was contagious. So she went down and found a small flat, 1 room I believe, and took in her first patient. We still are caring for the poor and the marginalized. We take no insurance, no money from the patients. We take nothing from the government. We care for them for free for the time that they have. And God has been good to us. We've operated this way for over 100 years.
We're here to serve those that are in need, and it doesn't matter what religion they are. It's just here that we're here to serve them and to make their time comfortable and until the Lord takes them home, and no matter what religion they are.
We do get people that are homeless, people that don't have any family, or people that don't have any family that is involved in their lives. And you can see in a very concrete way how you're able to help people physically, emotionally. So there is a lot of joy in that.
It's really more than just nursing care. It really is the care of the individual. Each sister will have a patient. She will admit them, and she will more than likely care for them until they die.
Before I entered, I was a registered nurse and I worked in a hospital. So being here, I love it because you do one-on-one care. You take care of the same patients every day, and you really get to know them, and they almost become like part of your family.
Usually we're on afternoon watch a couple times a week, so that consists of just being here and answering call lights and doing whatever needs to be done.
It's hard, but we have that faith that this is not the end, that their life is not ending, it's just changing. So we have to keep that in mind also, that we're ushering them into heaven.
This is an intense work, and people are dying, and it couldn't be done without the support of the prayer life. Humanly speaking, it can't be done.
This care of the patient is really a progression of our prayer life. We really need to show them our love and the love of Christ.
We're taking that sustenance from the chapel to the patients, and then when they come back to chapel, they're bringing the needs of the patients, their families, to the Lord. It's really back and forth from God, as it were, to the patients.
Even though we help them and they say that we do so much for them, they really do a lot more for us in that regard. That they do teach us how to surrender, how to accept whatever may come. And watching some of them journey through that and their acceptance of it and their surrender of it, it really does impact each individual sister's life.
That spiritual part of it that we take from the chapel to our patients' care, who are sisters who we work with every single day side by side. And it's our presence with each other. That's what it's about. Otherwise, we might as well go outside and be in another hospital and work.
Since Thomas Aquinas College New England opened over a year ago, some major renovations have taken place inside their new chapel. The Northfield School enlisted the help of some local craftsmen to complete the work needed to convert it into a Catholic house of worship. Steve Kiltonick visited the campus to find out what was involved in the chapel transformation.
When Thomas Aquinas College New England was looking for a contractor for some much-needed work on its 111-year-old Our Mother of Perpetual Help chapel, they didn't have to look very far. Larry Rue, a parishioner of Our Lady of Czestochowa in nearby Churners Falls, had the skills to build the chapel's brand-new confessionals and altar railings. A residential housing designer by trade, Rue worked on a number of woodworking projects for the parish, including the construction of church altar rails, reliquarium, and a choir loft. He also designed and constructed the Polish Martyr Chapel for Father Dimas Skola in the parish's cemetery back in 2012.
It's a nice change to get away from the computer and get behind the equipment and doing woodworking, especially if you can be. I love the Gothic architecture and the Gothic woodworking, so this church was ideal.
Prior to opening in 2019, Aquinas College made some major changes to the former Sage Chapel, built for the Northfield Seminary for Young Ladies, to convert it into a Catholic house of worship. Before their convocation, other interior renovations were done, including the construction of a new floor plan, a central aisle, altar, and tabernacle. Assisting him on the project was George Creston, a 2003 alumnus of the college. Harrison Architects from Washington, D.C. designed the entire chapel project.
They gave us elevations of the confessionals, what they wanted, and then gave us a set of plans from a previous set of confessionals they built in Alabama to use as a prototype. They wanted to match the interior of the church, so you can see the paneling on the walls, matching the paneling on the confessionals, and the stain and all that's going to match, and the door styles, so all have matched the existing architecture in the church.
The project was completed before the doors opened for TAC's second academic year last fall. Planning and actual work on the confessionals started in the winter of 2019 and continued into 2020 before the pandemic slowed the process. Rue said it took several weeks to convert the initial design into shop drawings so the various components could be prefabricated.
So the confessionals are all constructed out of red oak, which is what's inside the church right now. So you have to locate all those pieces, bring them in, then prefabricate them, cut all the pieces. Then we actually prefabricated the entire confessional in my shop and then tore it down and brought it here and we're reassembling it.
Creston worked on most of the confessional pieces in the campus woodworking shop.
Working this as a team, I'm kind of like doing the stuff in the shop and George's kind of like doing all the field work to assemble it and finish it up and trim it.
All of the components had to be rough cut, trimmed, and custom made by hand to fit in the chapel. Rue built the heavy confessional doors at his own shop, then brought them to the college for Creston to complete the detailed finish work.
These are the doors for the confessionals. Solid red oak, 2 1/4 inches thick. They were really heavy. George is in the process of making all the jambs and the casings, which is even more work because you got to do all these jigs to laminate, make these arches.
Father Greg Markey, the college chaplain, served on the chapel renovation committee.
We wanted confessionals there where the students would have easy access in and out and be able to use them in a way that would facilitate their relationship with Christ. So we took certain designs and carvings that are present, for example, in the windows themselves, and we incorporated them into the design of the confessional, and so that there would be one continual theme throughout the entire chapel.
Inside, the confessional had crucifixes and a traditional screen between priest and penitent. Low-voltage lights indicated when the confessional is occupied.
And then when they leave, the lights go back off, or the outside light turns green from red, so to speak. So on the priest, inside the priest's side of the confessional, he has switches that can run the interior lights. He can dim them, set the whatever kind of mood he wants for the confession.
The confessionals are also soundproof to make them more safe and secure.
There's more light bells and whistles, so to speak, and it's just to make it easy and functional and beautiful. An important part of the sacraments is beauty. The church is historically a patron of the arts, and we do things beautifully, and we should make the confessionals beautiful. So you'll see finely carved woodwork, designs, and carvings throughout the entire confessional.
The confessionals took about 4 months to finish, not including the time to get the drawings together. The end product is something that looks like it always has been part of the chapel. The altar railings were created after the confessionals and were also hand-carved to match the church interior. This is what the altar looked like before, with only one existing altar rail in the upper-level sanctuary. This section was eventually retrofitted and redesigned, but an entire new section was also created. Again, Harrison Architects designed the plans.
They shipped us schematics of what the school wanted for altar rails, and so we're taking measurements off these plans and prefabricating each of the separate pieces.
Rue cut all of the altar segments in his own woodworking shop, then pre-assembled them in his garage. They were reassembled at the school by Creston.
The whole front of the altar rail is about 43, 44 feet long, and then it has two sections of 10-foot sections on each side. So it's close to 60 feet worth of altar rail to build at the lower altar rail. The center portions are the two gates. There's two gates, which you can see, which is what we have in the background there. It's all done out of red oak, and it's going to be all stained and varnished when it's completed.
The railings included 30 panels, each of which took at least a day to carve.
We do the extraordinary form of the Roman Rite here, and so receiving Holy Communion at the altar rail is part of the Roman Rite in the extraordinary form. So this was an important part of the construction, and it gives this sense of delineation that this is the sanctuary, this is the Holy of Holies, this is where God's sanctuary is, the tabernacle.
The college is very pleased with Rue and Creston's handiwork.
These are tremendous craftsmen who live locally. We were very fortunate to find them. They're both men of deep faith. Larry and George have been a tremendous team and both good to work with, professional, and we love the final product.
And the students, faculty, and alumni of Thomas Aquinas College, New England will forever be grateful for their craftsmanship on display in Our Lady of Perpetual Help Chapel. For Real to Real, I'm Steve Kiltonic.
Some beautiful craftsmanship. Before we leave you, two special announcements we want to share with you. First, this week, Trinity Health of New England kicked off a series of educational webinars on what you need to know about the COVID-19 vaccine. The weekly educational series runs every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. through February 15th, with the January 25th session offered in Spanish. Questions and answers will be following each presentation. We have a link with more information at diospringfield.org. And also coming up next Friday, January 22nd, Bishop William Byrne will celebrate a pro-life Mass at 10:30 a.m. in St. Michael's Cathedral, which will also be live streamed on diospringfield.org. A local march will follow. For those unable to walk, the Rosary will be prayed in the cathedral. The event is being organized by Pro-Life of Pioneer Valley, and due to COVID-19 restrictions, masks and social distancing will be required. More information can be found at iobserve.org, including a link to the live stream. And for this week, that's Real to Real. As always, to keep up with all of the latest news on the Catholic Church, both here in the Diocese of Springfield and around the world, check out our news and information site, iobserve.org. And you can like us on Facebook at Catholic Communications. I will see you right back here next week for another edition of Real to Real, your window on the world around you. See you then.
Real to Real is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.